Hello, Dr. Cari here. Just wanting to check in and see how you're doing. One of my clients said this to me the other day, and it is so true that since 2020, before the pandemic, it has kind of been one thing after another that has been hitting our nervous systems, and our bodies have been trying to process all this data about change and uncertainty. One of the things that I know is so important for us during this time is that we build resiliency. And what does resiliency mean? Resiliency is our ability to go into a stress state and then drop back down into a healing and repair state. Because when we're living in a chronic stress state, as many people are in today's times, that chronic stress state is degenerative. And that is what will cause disease and imbalance in our body, right? So it's really important that we train our nervous systems to get out of a stress state. And how do we do that? We do it by practicing every single day. That's how we do it. And it doesn't have to be a long time. It can be 10 minutes a day, but 10 minutes a day that are devoted to dropping your nervous system down into a healing and repair state, getting it out of that sympathetic response, out of that fight or flight, out of that, oh my God, am I safe? What's going on? Is everything okay? Mind spinning, thinking all the time state, and getting it back down into a place where we know that we're okay, that we can trust, that our body can be in healing and repair. Now, how do you know if you're in a stress state? If you are having, if you're experiencing ongoing frustration, anger, resentment, if you're feeling sad and depressed for no reason, and even if there is a reason, if the sadness and the depression just kind of prolongs, if you're feeling anxious, if you're not sleeping well, those are all signs that your body is living in a chronic stress state. And we got to get you out of that stress state. It is so important. Okay. So, how do we do it? Well, it comes back down to lifestyle. Every day, we want to be doing a daily practice to bring our nervous system back down to neutral. Now, I was thinking about this when I was thinking about this video, and there's different reasons to do a daily practice. And I'll talk about what a daily practice is in a minute, but there's different reasons to do a daily practice. So the first reason you want to do a daily practice is, like I said, just to get your nervous system out of the hormone, under the influence of the hormones of stress, and back down into a neutral state. And we do the practice daily so that when there is something that happens, like we just had in California, the fires, right? And so many of my friends and beloveds lost homes, were threatened to have lost their homes. We had people staying with us for a week. We had no power for a week. You are able to get out of the influence of those stress hormones as fast as possible, right? So a daily practice is a really simple way to train our body to do this so that when there is a big something, we're able to get ourselves down sooner than later. Now, how do we do it? Well, there's some pretty simple ways. So HeartMath Institute has done a lot of research on this, and what they have found is to get our heart out of the influence of hormones of stress, where it is dysregulated. Your heart, literally, they hook you up to a heart rate variability, and they look at your heart rate when you're under hormones of stress, and it's dysregulated. It's going all over the place. And they find that when your heart rate is regulated, or what they call coherent, it's the kind of beaten at the same pace in a regular wave, that you move into a state of healing and repair. Okay? So stress is normal. Going into a stress state is normal, but it's also normal to come out. And that's the piece that our bodies are not doing so well with these days. So a daily practice of breathing, 10 minutes, 5 breaths in, 5 breaths out, 5 breaths in, 5 breaths out, has the effect of regulating your heart rate and getting you back down to neutral. 10 minutes. Now think about it. The other day I was sitting in meditation and I was doing my breathing and my mind was like, oh my God, I need to go. Oh, I got to go do this. I got to do this. Now that's a sign that you really, really, really need to be doing. That's a sign that we got some stress hormones running. And so I'm sitting there, my mind's coming in with all the reasons why we got to go do the dishes. Everything becomes so important. And I just kept saying, okay, mind, look it. You would sit here for 30 minutes and scroll on your phone and you wouldn't even think twice about it. You can sit here for a little bit longer, right? And I just kept renegotiating and renegotiating until I didn't need to anymore. And my body started to drop down to that neutral place, right? So we do this every day so that when we are under a lot of stress, it's a muscle we've developed and we can really use it to support ourselves back down. Now, if you're a person that doing that sitting and breathing is just too much for you, start with a minute. Just do it for a minute and then slowly increase. Or use one of the apps that guides you through a meditation so it keeps your brain engaged while you're doing it. That can be really, really helpful. There's several apps out there. Calm is one. Insight Timer is another. Several apps out there that have beautiful guided meditations that you can do. Okay. I love some active practices. You can do a walking meditation. So you listen to a meditation while you walk. That actually helps those hormones of stress. Now, if you're in a moment where like they're raging and you can't, like breathing isn't going to do it, then you want to do what's called a pattern interrupt. You want to allow the hormones to calm down. And the way that you do that is by distracting your brain from telling the stories, because when your brain starts to tell the stories about what just happened or what is happening, it encourages more hormones of stress to be produced, right? So what you want to do is you can do EFT, emotional freedom technique. You can look it up online. Just start tapping on your body and saying, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay, even though that just happened. I'm okay right now. I'm okay. And you just keep tapping wherever it feels good. They have very specific points, but quite truthfully, if you just tap on yourself, it's a distraction that distracts your brain. And then you just keep saying, I'm okay. Those hormones of stress last about 2 minutes if we distract our body from producing more, right? So that's one pattern interrupt. Another pattern interrupt is you can go outside and take a walk and you want to look at everything that you see and you want to name it. Beautiful flower. Particularly look at the things that you like, right? You don't want to go look at things like, oh, isn't that terrible? Oh, that's scary. Oh, look at that broken thing. No, that just creates more stress hormones. So you want to look at things that you like. You want to look at like a beautiful flower. Look at that flower. Look at the sky. Wow, it's so beautiful. And literally focus externally on other things that you find pleasing until you start to feel those hormones calm down. Yeah. And then you can start to do that breathing to calm and regulate that heart. So building resiliency, another really important factor to all of this is making sure that your body is getting the fuel it needs. And the way that most of us do that is by getting glucose from our food. So we want to be eating in a way that keeps our blood sugar really regulated. Not a time to be doing a lot of meal skipping, not a time to be doing a lot of, long periods of intermittent fasting. 12 hours between meals is fine for that dinner and breakfast. And then you want to be every 4 hours or so, making sure you're getting some food into your body to keep your blood sugar regulated. Why? When your blood sugar isn't regulated, your body produces stress hormones to get it regulated, to get your body to break down stores. Stress hormones, your stress level goes up. And this is a major factor I see with people in today's times. They're eating erratically, they're skipping meals, then they're eating too much, and it's creating this dysregulation in the system and creating a lot of stress for your body. So, daily practice, pattern interrupts when needed, feeding ourselves in a regulated way are all steps that are going to help you build a body that is resilient, that can respond to and recover from the times that we're having right now. I'm sending you so, so, so much love.